Hi everyone. So this is the reading habits tag, and I will put a link in the bottom to the original video. All right, and I'm going to be referencing the questions here. So if I look like I'm kind of staring off into space, I'm actually looking at my computer screen at the questions. Okay, um, I just want to make sure I get them all. My first question on this tag is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? I would say that my place is at my desk, in my room, or that's my bedroom, or on my bed. If it's if well, sometimes in my kitchen, but I would think my bedroom is my reading place. Yeah, most of the time that's what happens. 2, bookmark or a random piece of paper. I am really bad about this. If I own the book, I tend to dog ear it, like turn the page up. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to do that, but I end up doing that a lot. If it's a library book, I will stick a piece of colored computer paper in it. I have a stack of um, like neon colored computer paper. I like using it for my writing, just for fun, and I bookmark with it. 3, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I try to make it through a complete chapter before I put down a book to do something else or whatever. Um, I try not to just stop somewhere in the middle of a chapter. That kind of, I mean, it kind of makes it unnecessary to dog ear if I can get to a chapter. So I try to do that. 4, do you eat or drink while reading? I will have beverages, but I will not have food around books. So water, juice, um, tea, anything to drink I will have, but I will try to avoid having food anywhere near my reading. Just because I don't want to actually have a problem and stay in the book or something. Number 5, multitasking, music or TV while reading. There is generally a lot of noise in this house, so there's like a lot of background stuff going on while I'm reading. So I don't know if that really counts. Sometimes I will have music on. Um, yeah, I'll have like light music on, um, either just instrumental or with soft voices. Um, no like rock or pop music or anything like that. Number 6, one book at a time or several at once. I tend to read like 3 or 4 books at the same time. Um, I like switching from story to story. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but I like the feeling of having multiple stories going on in my head. um, so, multiple. Several books at once. 7, reading at home or everywhere. Um, I like to read at home. I also like to read at the library or the book cafe, bookstore, cafe, that sort of thing. Um, Sometimes I'll read in the park. I don't tend to like go out to really busy places to read, but I guess I'll say everywhere. Number 8, reading out loud or silently in your head. If I am alone, if I am alone, I like to hear the words, so I will read to myself out loud. Um, if I'm out in public, then I might just read completely quietly. I tend not to, whisper to myself, but if I'm alone, I will speak out loud, reading to myself. I like hearing the words. All right. Um, 9. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? Um, I try not to read ahead, but I do have the tendency of skipping over the parts of books that I don't like. So, any kinds of violence or romantic scenes that I think are unnecessary, or parts where the author is kind of giving a philosophical opinion that I find um, find not so great, then I will skip over. I'll just basically skip over the parts that I don't like. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Do you? Okay. Okay. I've lost my place. Number 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new. If it's my book, then it's going to have all kinds of scuff marks all over it. The spine will get wrinkled. Um, the edges will get worn. If it's my own personal copy, I really like to handle my books. so but if it's like a library copy or something that I have to return to somebody, then I'm extra careful with it. Number 11, do you write in your books? My personal books, I do. I write all over them. Particularly poetry anthologies or poetry collections and writer's books. I will take notes in it. I will highlight sections of it. I will um, sometimes I'll even like come up with a writing idea and jot down the idea in the book so that I don't forget it. Or I've been known to write poems in the like blank pages of a book. Some books have like blank pages in the back or in the very beginning. There are 2 or 3 blank sheets of paper. I will write all over those. Last question, who do I tag? So I don't really know a lot of people in the BookTube community just yet because I'm kind of brand new. So I'm going to say everybody who sees this is tagged. And that is the last question. And I'll say bye now.